Now, one of the things about this garden is a homeowner was very determined to apply for the National Wildlife Federation their plaque that they have of this being a wildlife habitat, and it requires several things: food for pollinators, habitat for pollinators, and also a water source. So water features in the landscape and why they're important in the area of sustainability and regeneration, permaculture gardens. You know, it seems that people live in such confined spaces these days, we really don't have a lot of room to work with. And yet the hardest thing for the pollinators to find in nature is water, a source of fresh water. People need, when they eat, they typically have a glass of water because water is a universal solvent. We need it to digest food. We need it to break food down. And so there's plenty of water. The oceans cover 60–70% of the planet. So it's not that there's a lack of water, there's a lack of fresh water. The statistics are there's about 3% of all the water on the planet Earth is fresh water. And about 1.5% of that is tied up in the polar ice cap. So that means that the fresh water that you and I have been drinking and all the pollinators and animals throughout millions of years of life on planet Earth, we've been recycling the same fresh water over and over and over again over millions of years. I mean, it's like ultimately, if you think about it, we've been drinking dinosaur pee. I mean, we're going to millions of years back, but it's been recycled over and over again. So the point is that we do need a fresh source water. So I'll give you an example of what we do in our landscapes that I want to do the full pollinator garden. Is we actually do creative things first of all, and we try to make them look appealing. And so what we've done here is we have this really beautiful rock that we actually drilled a hole into. We used a basin by the Atlantic Water Gardens people. It's just easier to just dig a hole and drop it in. And we have an autofill that we put in there. So anytime the water gets low, because you're gonna have a little bit of evaporation, then it automatically fills itself up like a toilet float. And we actually drilled a hole big enough to put a little light in there. So it's a cool little light inside here. So we'll come back at night and check it out. It looks like something out of Disneyland. But anyway, we're gonna put rocks around it so that it will give the illusion of just water coming out of nowhere. We've actually got another piece of really thick flagstone here to make this a drink of water for our pets. So if there's a rabbit, a dog, or a cat, somebody with a dog on a leash, they can come by, and dog can actually drink out of here because it's a source of fresh water. So it builds community. Water does more than just keep us alive, it actually builds community. And this is one way that water can actually be used to do that. To feed the planet, feed plants. Water has so many uses, we just can't live without it. That's why we've discovered many planets in the universe, but if they don't have water, you're not going to find people or life.